Hey y'all. I just wanted to bring y'all the latest Trump news, so let's jump right into it. So, the Supreme Court plans to rule on Trump's tariffs tomorrow, but today Trump announced that Americans could see a tariff check closer towards the end of the year. Check out this video.
You've promised $2,000 checks to Americans based off of your tariff revenues. When can
I did do that. When did I do that?
Well, I mean, you're
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, I did 1776 for the military,
When
right?
will those Americans get those checks?
Well, I am going to. The tariff money is so substantial that's coming in that I'll be able to do 2,000 sometime, I would say, toward the end of the year.
I was running to the bank, sweetie, and depositing a Trump check. Honey, Donald Trump.
And let's check out what Trump had to say over on Truth Social ahead of the ruling. Trump says the actual numbers that we would have to pay back if, for any reason, the Supreme Court were to rule against the United States of America on tariffs would be many hundreds of billions of dollars. And that doesn't include the amount of payback that countries and companies will require for the investments they are making on building plants, factories, and equipment for the purpose of being able to avoid the payment of tariffs. When these investments are added, we are talking about trillions of dollars. It would be a complete mess and almost impossible for our country to pay. Anybody who says that it will be quickly and easily done will be making a false, inaccurate, or totally misunderstood answer to this very large and complex question. It may not be possible, but if we were, it would be dollars that would be so large that it would take many years to figure out what number we are talking about and even who, when, and where to pay. Remember, when America shines brightly, the world shines brightly. In other words, if the Supreme Court rules against the United States of America on this national security bonanza, we're screwed. President Donald J. Trump. Trump traveled to Detroit today to promote his efforts to boost U.S. manufacturing. He toured a Ford factory before addressing the Detroit crowd. In this video, Trump is seen giving a Ford factory worker the middle finger. You can hear very low a Ford worker yells out, pedophile protector. And then you see Trump make the motion. The White House later said it was an appropriate and unambiguous response. While addressing the Detroit crowd, Trump is again threatening to cut funding to sanctuary cities, which would include Chicago, and still calling the immigrants being deported criminals and murderers. Let's check out this video, y'all.
Starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment.
And lastly, Trump is threatening to sue the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome H. Powell. Let's see what he had to say about the whole thing.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
That is my Trump wrap for the week. Hopefully, I'll see y'all back here for another one. See y'all later.